Here to discuss the politics of the week is Ben Goldberger, executive editor at Time magazine. Ben, good morning.
Morning.
I'm sure we'll get to that meeting in a moment, but I want to go back to Mueller and obviously this news by the House Judiciary Committee and the lawsuit. Give us some sense, with Mueller testifying, with this lawsuit and trying to get that redacted information, where do we stand with all of this?
Well, that's a really good question. The answer is nobody fully knows, but the Democrats are unwilling to give up on the prospect of at least beginning impeachment proceedings, if not the actual impeachment process itself. So the lawsuit that's filed by the Judiciary Committee is an attempt to preserve the potential for impeachment without forcing a full House vote, which as of now is unlikely to pass and is exactly what Leader Nancy Pelosi is adamant about having happen.
And we don't seem to have any more interest from the American people right now in seeing this go forward. We haven't had, as you and I were talking about, the social media moment of this yet.
Well, that's exactly it, and that's what accounts for the split among the Democrats. So after Mueller's testimony, as of today, there's somewhere around 101 Democrats who favor pushing for impeachment. But that's not a majority of their caucus. It's certainly not going to pass a Republican-controlled Senate. And so without widespread support of the American public, Pelosi and many of her colleagues don't see the wisdom in pushing for it.
The second round of Democratic debates coming up here in just a few days. It'll be interesting to see how much Mueller consumes that conversation and that debate when they happen.
Absolutely. But that's a fundamental tension among many of the candidates running. I think there's about 12 of them who favor impeachment proceedings. But if there's any lesson to be learned from not just Clinton's campaign against Trump, but pretty much every single presidential election, you win by telling the voters what you're for, not what you're against. And so no matter how unpopular Trump is, and he is historically unpopular for a modern president at this point in their term, no Democrat is going to beat him simply by railing against him.
Clearly, the president took a victory lap after the Mueller hearings, but how does this play into his overall strategy? I mean, he has the squad issue with telling them to go back to where you came from. It's just, it seems to be just, you know, it keeps moving forward.
Well, he has built a campaign predicated on division. That was a key theme of his election in 2016, and it's one he's going back to now, even though, as many of his supporters point out, he actually has tangible accomplishments to run on. And yet he seems much more insistent on stoking certain nativist sentiment, racial animus, us versus them division.
The economy being one of them.
Indeed. But then again, he's sort of a victim of his own expectations. The economy is doing very, very well. There's a lot of job growth, and some of that is the result of the tax cuts and a lot of the very intense stimulus from the Trump administration. But he has also promised that there would be annual 3% growth. He has not achieved that.
Okay, Ben Goldberger, thank you very much.
Thank you.